Am I the a-hole for taunting my ex's husband that all his bragging that he's as much my kid's dad as I am has been proven wrong by them repeatedly? Currently, I, 40 male, have primary custody of my 2 children, 13 and 15, who I had with my ex-girlfriend, 40-year-old female. She left me when our 13-year-old was 6 months old because, to quote her, she lost all respect for me when I was okay with being the stay-at-home parent while she worked. She said I was a joke, and she wanted a real man who worked to provide for his family, in a way that meant she could also work and child care could be paid without it being a major hit to finances. It wasn't realistic for either of us, but it's what she wanted, so I found a way to let her work while the kids were cared for by me. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I can accept that her view of me most likely shaped her husband's view of me. They got married when the kids were 5 and 3. They were together for around 2 years prior to that, and starting when they got engaged after a year of being together, the husband started to complain about the unfair custody split. Our custody order stated 50-50 physical and legal custody, with Mother's Day for my ex and Father's Day for me. My ex decided a little while before we broke up that she didn't want to do Christmas anymore, so I always got the kids for Christmas once we were broken up, and that was detailed in the court's order. We also had a right of first refusal in our court order that stated if we would be away from the kids for 4+ hours and they would be left with someone else, then we had to ask the other parent if they wanted that time with the kids. My ex's husband, even before he was her husband, complained that Father's Day was no longer mine alone because they now had 2 dads, and he told me he was just as much their dad as me. He stated I needed to either split the day with him or alternate, and that a judge wouldn't order it, but I should do it, because it's the right thing to do. He said the right of first refusal was BS once he was there, because the kids should be allowed to stay with him if my ex was gone for several hours, or even a couple of days. She left town frequently after we broke up for a job. The other point was Christmas. He celebrates it. My ex still doesn't. So the kids stayed with me even after he married her, and he hated it. For years, he would complain about it. He would tell me that the kids would see through me destroying their chance to have a second real dad and would pick him in the future. He told me my DNA didn't mean anything in this, and he was a true father. I was the sperm donor who put my feelings above theirs. When he would show up to Father's Day events at the kids' activities, he would complain that the kids mostly ignored his presence and didn't include him or celebrate with him. He would try to get me to sit it out frequently, and 4 times he was removed from these events. Several times he told me I wasn't a real man or father because I was weak. I was more like a mother. That I should ask myself if I was the kind of man I wanted my kids to look up to, because from where he was standing, I was no man. This would all happen in person when we showed up to the same events for the kids. We did not see each other at exchanges, so this was not an issue there. My ex sided with her husband and cared about nothing else. A year ago, my kids told me they wanted to live with me and they didn't want to do 50-50 anymore. I filed for a modification of the custody order, and because the kids' voices were heard, it was granted. My ex now gets the kids 1 weekend a month. The rest of the time they're with me. This has pissed her husband off so badly. He attempted to confront me about this the other week, and instead of listening to him or moving away, I decided to taunt him back. A part of me wanted to stoop even lower and bring up that he has 0 bio kids himself. But instead, I brought up how his confidence and insistence that he was as much the kid's dad as I am was proven wrong by them repeatedly. I told him to accept the fact he's not their dad, and clearly he's not their beloved stepdad either, and to leave me the heck alone. He showed up to a practice my son had last week, and he kept bringing it up and saying that's exactly why I'm a crappy dad. I kept moving away from him and he kept following me. It annoyed me, but I know I didn't exactly rise above it all when I said what I did, which is why I figured I should ask, am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Step-parents should be seen as a bonus parent, not a replacement or an addition. You don't force the relationship with the kids, and you work with the bio parent to make sure their relationship with the kids thrives with the help of your support. Your ex's husband is a jerk, and the kids' choice reflects that. They might not like him because of the way he treated you face-to-face and what he may have said when you weren't around. He deserved to be taunted. That had a lot to do with it. They admitted they had felt uncomfortable and awkward around him because they felt he made everything a competition with me. At one point, they said to the judge that both of them felt like they couldn't really talk about me at their mom's house because they were worried he would freak out. It wasn't anything he specifically said to them, but how he acted. And as much as I hated my ex and him, I never stopped the kids from saying anything about either of them. Not the a-hole. I am amazed that this is the only thing you said. Not sure everyone would handle this without saying more. Also, be careful and mentally prepared going forward. Perhaps he was trying to get you to do something violent back to him, leading to a discussion regarding how fit you are as a parent. He's far more likely to lose his temper than I am, but I do watch my back around him just in case. I've lived a similar situation, but I treat my stepdad like my actual dad over my bio dad. My stepdad actually put in work to get to know us, help take care of us, etc., but my bio dad still tries to act like he's hot stuff all these years later. All this to say that kids remember the effort put in by the adults. It sounds like he doesn't actually put in much effort with the kids, but wants to credit for trying. If he really cared about the kids too, there are other ways to spend time with them than just specifically holidays. You're not the a-hole, you're just repeating what the kids have already expressed. One of his faults was that he did put in effort, but in ways that made my kids uncomfortable and made them feel like he was competing with me. They were too aware of how he felt about me, and the way he behaved really pushed them away. I think his efforts were also more about him winning than them overall. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling a friend's boyfriend that he can't have a traditional wife because he's not a traditional man? Plus update. I, 25 female, was hanging with some friends and their significant others last week. To make a long story short, my friend's boyfriend kept talking about how women no longer want to be traditional wives, and that's why many of them are single. I responded that in 2025, women don't feel like they need a man in order to provide the lives they want for themselves. He kept going on about what women used to do, and how they were all about taking care of their husbands and household without complaining. I let it go on for a while, but I got tired of hearing his rant and told him that he can't have a traditional wife when my friend goes 50-50 on all the bills with him and works more hours than he does. I continued with saying he isn't a traditional husband and can't provide for his household like he's supposed to, so that my friend can stay home and do those traditional duties. I may have become the a-hole when I told him that it sounds like he wants another mommy and not a wife. It became silent, and he told me that my way of thinking proved his point. The conversation pivoted elsewhere, and I thought that was it. But I got a message from my friend saying that her boyfriend was upset at me for what I said and that I embarrassed him. He wants me to apologize, but I don't think that I should have to since I was responding to his rant about traditional women. My friend said she doesn't think I'm wrong, but doesn't think I'm right either, and that I should have just let him talk because he had a few drinks. Am I the a-hole? So he gets to have an opinion and you don't? Not the a-hole. He's butthurt because he got proven he's a hypocrite. Don't apologize. Oh my lord. That comment, what you're saying proves my point. Like, what point is that? Women should be subservient, obedient little butter-churning baby-making bangholes? He was so cringeworthy. I'm glad he got put in his place. Not the a-hole. I mean, she did explain why women no longer want to be traditional wives and would rather be single than live with a man who wants a traditional wife that also supports him financially. So he was right about that. What upset him was that she gave a valid reason why, and it reflected badly on him. He doesn't deserve an apology. The one here I'd worry about is the friend. I'd like to ask her why he needs his feelings soothed just because he was drinking, but I expect she had him blow up on her once home. Not the a-hole, but the mommy comment was a miss. It allowed him to bypass the actual important point, which is that if you want a traditional wife, you have to be able to financially provide for one. You said that too, but he got to brush it off by focusing on the mommy insult. Make the winning point and stop. I can see that. I think that I was a bit fed up with what he was saying. It's almost as if he wanted to get a reaction out of us, and unfortunately, I fell for it. Why are you friends with this man-child? It sounds like he exchanged his brain for a handful of Tootsie Rolls and got screwed by no takebacks. There are more thoughtful and less misogynistic fish in the sea, I promise. To be honest, he's not my friend. He unfortunately dates my friend. The guy is a douche, but we accept him for her, but that seems to be a done deal now. Now for the update. I called my friend to try and understand why her boyfriend was embarrassed and why she was trying to be Switzerland in the situation. She explained that I'm her friend, and although she doesn't disagree with what I said, she feels like she needs to have her man's back as well. I told her that she doesn't have my back by asking me to apologize to him and not standing up for me, or at the very least telling him that what he was saying was idiotic. We talked for about an hour, and I actually feel like it didn't get anywhere. I told her that I would not apologize and that he can't come around me anymore, and she was very upset with that statement. I feel like I lost a close friend, and that hurts a lot, but I will not be disrespected. Sorry this isn't some juicy stuff, but I wanted to update everyone on how the situation ended. Last story, update. Am I the a-hole because I left girlfriend's place because her kids made fun of my name? Original post. I, 40 male, have been seeing a woman, 36 female, since July. She's fun to hang out with. I have a busy work schedule and she has 2 kids, so we usually get together when she's child-free and I'm not working. She asked me to meet her kids in October, but I told her I wasn't ready yet. She asked again in November, and I said maybe after the holiday season. On Saturday, I was supposed to go to her place at 5 p.m. When I arrived, her kids were there. I introduced myself. I'm French-Canadian, and my name is common in both French and English. I always introduce myself by saying, "Hi, I'm Sébastien," in the French way, but I tell people they can call me Sebastian or Seb if they like. The kids, 10 and 12-year-old girls, started laughing and said, "Sebastian, what a stupid name." They started making fun of my name. I said it's actually French since I'm French-Canadian. They started laughing even harder. Then their mom came in and said their dad was supposed to pick them up, but he had canceled, but that it was okay, and we could have a nice family dinner. The kids again said, "Yeah, with Sebastian, haha." Their mom smiled and said they're just kids and laugh at silly things. I felt very uncomfortable. I made an excuse and left within about 15 minutes. Now my girlfriend is mad, saying I bailed on her and ran away as soon as I saw the kids, like a pathetic coward. Was I an a-hole? Did I overreact to the kids' behavior and her brushing it off? The whole thing made me feel really uncomfortable. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Introducing you to the kids after 4 months is wild. She said she was a package deal and it's important to see if her kids like me. I wasn't feeling comfortable yet, so I suggested at least after the holiday season. So her response is to call you a coward? That's dumping worthy. She said I was a coward for running away. I feel like she tried to force the interaction on you, and then her kids were disrespectful trolls. Why not call and say the kids are still here, and at least give him an option to decide if he's okay meeting her kids? Exactly. She forced them on him, which in itself is a disrespectful lack of regard. Then they're rude and she doesn't give them any discipline and blames him when he doesn't want to stick around for more. It's a bad reflection all around on the woman. She seems to lack personal accountability. It's possible that he just saw a little bit of why she's divorced. Now for the update. I wasn't planning to post an update, but here it is. Since yesterday, my now ex has spiraled. She sent me like 20 messages in the morning on Instagram saying what a loser I am, that I'm a weak, pathetic pussy, that I would be a terrible stepdad, and that she was planning to have a baby with me. Well, that was new to me because we never talked about this. Then she deleted all of them. When I checked my phone after my work meeting, she had sent another 20 messages saying how she misses me, that we could get through this, that we belong to each other, and asking me to call her. I didn't answer. She deleted those too, and then sent another million messages swearing at me. She deleted those too. She sent new messages and said I was abusive because I gave her the silent treatment. I messaged that I didn't know what was going on, that I was at work, saw all her messages, then checked my phone again and saw the opposite of her first texts. I said I wanted to give her time to calm down and then we could talk. She said not to bother and that she hates me and blocked me. Then she unblocked me. Apparently, she also posted my image in a local "Are We Dating the Same Guy" Facebook group to warn other women about me. My coworker is in that group and showed me. She said I was emotionally abusive and terrible with kids. At this point, I'm going to take a break from everything and focus on Christmas shopping for my nieces and nephews. Dating in your 40s is something. What do you mean take a break? Dude, she's clinically insane. Run away. Break from dating and social media I meant. Sorry. Count yourself very lucky that she exposed her insanity before getting knocked up. Sure hope you were using birth control. I was, and supposedly she was on pills. My coworker thinks within a few weeks I'll get a message from her claiming she is pregnant. I really hope not. I'd follow up on that "Are we dating the same guy" post and publicly reply with something along the lines of, "Your kids mocked my name and were incredibly rude about me being French-Canadian. You didn't correct them, so I left. I didn't answer your 100+ messages, ranging from cursing me out to begging and telling me you wanted to have a child with me because I was at work. I don't think we're a good match after all. Please don't contact me again." Start taking screenshots of her messages if she sends any more. And if you can't screenshot IG messages, block her on there but not on your phone. She sounds absolutely unhinged. No man is allowed to join that group. Perhaps ask your coworker, but unless it comes up when people search you online, perhaps it's better to not engage with her at all. I explained earlier. The thing is, my coworker is in her 20s and we're not even close. It would look so weird for a young woman to defend a 40-year-old dude. I really don't want her to be involved in my mess.